Hello and welcome to Family Matters. Thank you so much for joining us. On this show, we discuss various issues that affect families and individuals. And today, we're discussing the issue of who does what in the family. To help me talk about this, I have Liz and Mike. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Liz, what are we discussing exactly in this topic?
We basically are discussing family roles. People within families, they assign each other roles to play within their setting. And this is all what we are talking about.
And Mike, why is it important for us to discuss this topic today?
Families do not live in a neutral environment. We live in a changing, ever changing environment. And therefore, it is very important to help families adapt or adjust to the changes that are going on in society.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Liz, what types of, I know there are many, but today, what types of roles are we discussing that we have in the family, within the family?
We are focusing on mainly two types.
Right.
That is the fixed roles and the shared roles.
And when you say fixed roles and shared roles, what do you mean? Can you define those for us?
What we are basically saying by fixed roles, we are looking at roles that mainly are within a family and they are stipulated that men do this, women do this. And there is no overlapping. It is just as it is.
Right.
So those are fixed roles. And then when we talk of shared roles, we are looking at roles that cut across gender. There is no boy, there's no girl. Any one of them can do whatever as long as it's a chore that needs to be done within a family or even outside there in the industry.
Mike, I think to bring it closer home, if you can just give me
Yeah.
some examples perhaps of the two, sort of yours, have a clear picture of exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Maybe let's begin with fixed roles.
Right.
You'll notice in other cultures, they'll say the kitchen is for women and the men concentrate on outside activities. But the kitchen is the domain for ladies. So women cook and men don't. Yes.
Now, Liz, just to now go a step further, what influences fixed roles?
Fixed roles mainly are influenced by culture or tradition or what is done within a certain tribe, so that they are so specific, there is no question about it. Everyone will know, like Mike has just given an example, that cooking in some culture is just for a woman to do it, and hunting out in the bush is for a man. You cannot exchange those roles. Hence, you will discover that culturally, their roles are just stipulated as they are set from their lineage, from the tradition back dated up to I don't know. This is how things are to be done, and they have to be like that.
And there's no other
Not
way.
doing it might mean you are disobedient or you are regarded as a rebel.
Mm. Mike?
Yeah. This is where culture can almost be treated like a religion.
Mm-hmm.
People look at these fixed roles. A woman does this, and a man does this. Boys do this, girls do this, and they treat that religiously, and they don't want those tenants to be kind of offended.
Right.
Yes.
In the Vele or even in Zulu, you hear someone saying "Indota mina," meaning I'm a man here. I don't
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what does that mean
Exactly.
exactly?
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
So Liz, what influences shared roles?
There are a number of things that influences shared roles. One of those is the term we are now using, global village,
Yes.
where you find we are cutting across all cultures. People from the Western countries, from the Asian countries, we are now living in sort of a one globe. And because of that, people have come to realize that if you want to make life easier and if you want things to be done properly within a home, just let everyone do whatever is supposed to be done. If a man finds that they need to cook because the woman is not yet in the home, or even if the woman is there, the man can start cooking. After all, look around you. The best chefs in the world are men.
True. True.
And yet, in some other culture, they'll be saying, a man cannot cook. But shared roles will say, train up your boy child to cook, because
Yes.
they can live on their own and they need to cook.
And train your girl child to
And-
change the tire.
Yes, because they will be driving
Yeah.
and they have a tire puncture. They need to know how to change the tire.
Mm.
So you empower your girl child and your boy child to do every chores that are supposed to be done without stipulating roles as to who is supposed to do what.
Right, Mike?
Yes. I just want to carry over. He's talking about globalization. It's like we have global politics, we have global economy, and the world is also tend to move towards the one global culture,
Yeah.
which tends to reflect more of the Western values in terms of how we define these roles. Like for instance, like she's saying, these roles then tend to cut across gender. You get the point. And one of those things that are leading to this one global culture is basically the media.
Yes.
The kind of movies we watch, the films we watch, the drama we watch, the soapies we watch tend to project an idea that anyone can do anything in the house. You don't have to be a woman in order to cook. You get the point. So we begin to see this on the media, projecting an idea that anyone can do anything in the house.
I'm just sitting here thinking that how important this topic is, because I actually know of a real situation where somebody's wife went away for a meeting,
Yes.
and the husband remained at home by himself, and then he had to pick up the phone to ask, where can I find the cups?
Yeah.
Because he had never been in
Yeah.
that kitchen, because the mind had never been used to that we can share roles. Okay, I
Yeah.
can help you out.
Yes.
Any other additions?
The other thing that influences shared roles is our educational systems.
Right.
You look at today's world in the classroom, then a boy child was the only one who used to be encouraged to go to school.
Mm.
But now even a girl child is supposed to be highly educated.
Yes.
We also look at this empowerment that is coming up, where every child, as long as they are a child, they have the rights to go to school. And within the school, they are taught the same subjects for as long as you are able to do it. Back then, you will not be taught to become a pilot when you were a woman. But today's world, you can be trained to become a pilot, and you can pilot. And so within a home, train up your children to know how to do all those chores. I'll give you an example of myself. I want to say my parents are not of today's age. They were of the traditional time.
Mm.
But within their traditional setting, they made a decision that all our children will go to school because they are all children, be it a boy, be it a girl.
Mm.
And we're allowed to take courses that we were happy with, so that you work within the giftedness that God gives you. So I am saying educational systems are now promoting that everyone has the right to do everything as long as they are good at it.
Yes. Mike, anything else that you want to
Yes.
add?
I think this is where we are saying families are more a reflection of the larger family, which is the nation itself or society. We tend to then mimic or reflect, or we are the mirror image of what is happening at a bigger scale. Like she's talking of, she wants to address the idea of industry, where now women drive big trucks, they drive buses, women go to war as soldiers, combat soldiers, and stuff like that. So you begin to see that the environment is redefining what even happens at a family level. And this is where people need to appreciate that there has been a major shift on how to do business at national level and as well as at family level. Yeah, you cannot ignore that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very difficult to ignore.
The other thing also is within a family, realities are such that at times mom and dad die in a car
Mm.
accident and they are all gone. And if your children don't know how to do all the chores that are supposed to be done at home, those children will suffer misery. No one will want to take a child who is not geared and groomed to be able to have survival skills.
Mm.
You come to my house, I've trained my girl child to cut firewood. And you are a girl who is coming from uncle who does not know how to cut firewood. And I tell you, girl, We want you to make fire. It's cold. Go and chop firewood. The girl would think they are being mistreated, and they can get depressed because of that.
Yes.
They'll be stressed. They're not used to it. Why? That training was not done.
Right.
Yet, if they were trained, to them it's a norm.
Right.
They will work with it with no complaints.
Mm.
So I am saying shared roles are, are influenced because of wanting to also build survival skills within our children
Right.
and even between husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, he goes out preaching, and sometimes I'm asked to go and do the same thing. I must remain knowing what to do even if he's not there. I
Yes.
can't wait to put a bulb only when he comes back.
Yes.
I have to know how to put a bulb, being a woman. So that is shared roles.
Right.
Know everything and put everything into practice.
Right. Now, like I always say, with most things in life, there's pros and cons. So now I want us to look at what are the pros of these some of these roles, pros and cons of these roles that we've described here, the shared and the fixed roles. Let's start with the fixed, perhaps, Mike.
Yes. When it comes to fixed roles, I think it creates some kind of boxed mentality where things have to be done this way. If they are not done this way, then it means they are wrong. Like, for instance, a man would define manhood as I don't cook. So he can be in that marriage, even if the wife is sick. He has told himself, men don't cook. So he would rather go and hunt for another relative or anyone to come and be part of the family so that they can do what the wife was supposed to do.
That's
Because to
true.
him, I am not supposed to cook because men do not. So it creates a fixed thinking, which is rigid and sometimes which is very difficult to live with.
Right.
Yes.
I think also when you look at fixed roles,
Mm-hmm.
they are burdensome to family members.
Mm-hmm.
Someone may be seated to say, I'm a man, I cannot go and feed the child because it's not for me, it's for the mother to do that. Yet this wife is also tired coming from work. Look, we both are now working. I told you of the global village, industrialization that has come through.
Mm.
And you expect me to come from work, to come and feed the child, to come and iron, to come and clean. It's so exhausting, and this other person feels so stressed up. So I think fixed roles for myself, they are a burdensome way of running a family.
Yeah. I think let's just hold it there for now. Then we'll go to a short break. When we come back, we'll discuss further on the pros and cons. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Family Matters, and today we're discussing the issue of who does what in the family. Liz, before we went to the break, we were discussing the pros and cons of a fixed role. Mike, do you have anything else that you want to add? Oh, sorry, Liz, as well.
I was just saying that fixed roles, they make one of the family members to be so exhausted and tired and stressful. And you know, a tired person can be very disappointing because they will lash out. There will be conflicts that are emanating simply because you are frustrated that why should I be the one running up and about when the children are seated, the father is seated, and it's only the mother doing the house chores.
Mm.
So it creates that distance because one person is running.
Always doing everything.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
while you're on that, I'll be coming from a culture where the boy child knows from a young, well, not everybody, but in some homes from a young age that they don't do anything. They sit there, they'll be served, their laundry is washed, their room is cleaned up for them, and then they grow up with this mentality that "Mna,
Yeah.
at home I do not do anything." And then that's how they take that into their families
Yeah.
Yeah.
as well. Mike, any other thoughts?
So sorry to repeat this.
Yeah.
I need to re-emphasize and reiterate this as a man. Because
Right.
sometimes people say she's a woman, maybe she's speaking from
Yes.
woman empowerment
Empowerment.
point of view. But I just want to speak like a man. Imagine I spend 8 hours at work and she spends 8 hours at work, and we both come home tired. And when we get home, me, I look at home as a place of retirement, of recuperating, of resting. Now she looks at home as another place of work again.
Right.
She must then cook for me. She must do dishes for me. Mine is, now there is time to eat. You can come, leave TV and come and eat. I leave TV, I eat. I don't lift any plate to go to whatever. I go back to my TV. And after serving the meal, she then again have to deal with the dishes and going back there. I want to say, whoever prides over fixed roles, it's okay with them. But I think there can be a challenge,
Yeah.
especially to women.
Gets very hard.
Yes.
And not only to women, it fixed roles have a way of destroying skills that children are supposed to learn.
Yes.
Because when we remain on the fixed, it means we are not opening up. We are not allowing these children that we are grooming up to be the people they might want to be in life. Because fixed roles, believe you me, they detect. You are told what you are supposed to do. You cannot go outside that box, because by so doing, you are not an obedient child. So fixed roles have a way of stealing from the people who are within this environment. It steals the abilities and capabilities of seeing what areas a child can do best.
Right.
Because it is in training your children to try to do everything, that you are able to pick that my child, I think they are gifted in this area or in this area. Hence, even as they pick up their careers, you can be able to quickly guide, because you are seeing through the way they do things at home that I think this is the area of giftedness of my child.
Yeah.
And you groom it and you support it.
Right. Mike, any other thoughts on fixed roles before we move to the
Yeah,
next?
on fixed roles,
Mm.
for me, I also look at it as a source of conflict in the family. More especially if a man has married a woman who is coming from a shared roles perspective,
Yes.
and you are on the fixed role perspective. As a man, you're expecting my woman will do this for me, will do this for me, will do this for me. And this woman comes into your domain, into your world, also thinking like we are companions. My husband is going to help me with this while I do this. My husband is going to help me with this. And now, when now you belong, especially you now, you belong to a fixed, rigid approach to life. I can assure you, they'll be running battles in that, simply based on roles, which may even lead to divorce.
Yes.
Because
true.
your definition of being loved, of a home, is when a woman is doing this for me, when a man is doing this for me. And if they don't do that, it means they don't love me.
You know, actually, what you're saying is very true, because I know some people, when they're going through the pre-marriage counseling,
Yes.
and then they're asked what they expect in their marriage, then you
Yeah.
hear a guy saying, no, she'll take care of me, wash my clothes, take care of the children.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
then it's like, isn't there more to life?
Yeah.
Yes.
You
than
know,
that?
saying that,
Mm.
I've heard people who actually say, I think I'm a slave in this relationship.
Mm.
Yes.
Because to them, fixed roles are just pulling them down.
Mm.
They cannot do outside the box. And by the way, let me also tell you that in some places, fixed roles are perpetuated because the couple is afraid to disappoint the parents.
Okay.
Fixed roles may be determined by your in-laws, that according to the Ngwaru culture, we cannot see our son standing up and cooking for us.
Yes.
Even though between me and Mike on our own, we may agree
Mm.
to say this is how we do it. But when our parents come in, we want to cover it. We don't want them to see that Mike also cooks.
Mm.
Hence, on that day, I hesitate to have my in-laws visit me.
Yeah.
Because what does that mean? It means I have to be up on my toes alone on that day when they have visited. If it's a week, it's even terrible.
I actually have a friend who, even when they go out of the house into a social kind of place, maybe it's a braai barbecue, some would call it, and he says, I expect that my wife will go and bring a plate for me. So I said, but that's not fair because everybody else is getting their own food. It's a social event. You must get
Yeah.
your own. Says, no, no, no. I'll sit and she must go and collect
Mhm.
her food and mine and for the children as well.
Yeah.
And that's what he's stuck to
Yeah.
all these years. So these things are actually really happening. I think let's move on to now the pros and cons of shared roles. Mike.
The pros and cons of shared roles.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is intimacy.
Right.
Intimacy. You know, imagine how beautiful it is working in the kitchen together. She's working on that dish, you are working on that dish. She's baking that, you are also icing that, you are doing that, and so forth. It brings about comradeship, it brings about companionship. It has this whole idea of life is fun because we do things together.
Yes.
There are no boundaries set.
Right.
Yes.
You know what you're talking about that I know that there's for some women their love language is actually just that. Spend
Yeah.
time with me and help me in the kitchen or not the
Yeah.
kitchen necessarily, but help me
Yeah.
with something at home.
Yeah.
And for them they feel like this is how you show me love. Don't
Yeah.
buy me a gift, don't buy me
Exactly.
anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just spend time. So you're right, it does bring intimacy closer.
Yeah.
Please.
Shared roles have a way of reducing stress levels because when you are sharing chores and responsibilities, you'll find that you are not overly burdened. You can also have time to just sit and relax and chat because everyone has done something and there's no clutter around because you and all your children and your spouse, you are all working towards making one goal. Let us all be happy. Because I cannot be happy with you when I'm the one who is doing it all by myself.
Of course.
So shared chores or shared responsibilities reduces the amount of stress levels a person may carry.
Yes. Like.
Yes. There's also this issue of shared responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
which then reduces the blame psychology. Because anyone who is at the house can do anything without having to wait for others to come. You get the point? Then every family member feels like I'm responsible. Oh, this thing is not in place. It should be there. You are not going to say, oh, it's a girl child who must come and remove this and put it there, or it's a boy child who is supposed to remove this and put it there. Everybody becomes responsible. You don't have to wait for any other person to do that. If it's a meal that needs to be prepared, and you find your wife is going to come maybe 7 in the night because of the shift that she is on, can we really wait eating? Because the mother has not yet come and she's going to come at 7 and start cooking at 7 and we eat at 10.
You'll be
No,
surprised how many people do this.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, but
Yes, Lord have mercy, really.
You know, I'm actually looking at realities.
yeah.
Do you know how shared responsibilities can bring about good health?
Mm.
Because when you are not overly loaded with the chores, you don't have to think deeply that how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? You can assign someone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can just say, can you please, someone, can you do this? Someone, can you do that? So you have time to recuperate.
Mm-hmm.
You have time to even meditate as a person.
Mm.
Because some people are doing something and you have time to yourself to sit in your closet and read your Bible
Yes.
without any disturbance. And hence, you are in good health, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. Because once the people all take responsibilities to do, there is peace. Actually, the Bible says, oh, how good and pleasant it is
Mm.
for people to live in harmony together.
Yes.
There can never be harmony if I'm the servant within a family.
Right.
I'll be having bitterness in me. But when shared responsibilities are there, the joy runs through like oil down Aaron's beards.
Mm.
Because I'm happy. People are there to help. Everyone feels everyone is doing their part. And hence our health is in good place, unless maybe if challenged otherwise,
Yeah.
not because of overburdened work.
You know, as you're talking, I'm just thinking about there's a lady. True story, this happened. It's
Mm.
going to sound fake, but it really happened.
Yes.
Where the professor of a university, one of these countries, she went into a shop and toy shop and took out a teddy bear and walked out the door without going to the tills. Obviously, then the alarms at the door, they went, they beeped. So the security came for her. They took her to an overnight police cell. So when the husband came now to pay the bail for her to come out for the night, she says, no, Leave me here. I went there on purpose because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Just for today, just go home, take care of the kids, cook for them. I'll come back when I'm done. There's this music I wanted to listen to for years now. Today I'll listen to it because I don't have time for that
Said
when I'm at home. This is a
Yeah.
professional woman who was
Yeah.
just exhausted
Yeah.
and she went the
Yeah.
extreme.
It simply shows maybe she had tried communicating and no one was listening.
Yeah,
And the only way was, let me commit this crime
yeah.
and I'm away from
For a bit.
fix the roles.
Yes.
Mike.
I don't know how to put this one clearly, but I would look at fix the roles tend to be bordering more on functionality of the family, who does what and stuff like that. You get the point? But in a shared role, they tend to be more relational. Are you? So the platform is more relational. So anyone can do anything, but we are a family more because of the relationship that we want to guard. Everybody is mutual. Everybody is important in this relationship. Anybody can do anything. So let's have fun. Let's treat each other mutually.
Right.
But in a fixed role, this is where you have got the servant master kind of relationship, where the family lives to serve this particular person because he is the chief of the house.
Yes.
Everybody lives for, he is the reason why we are all part of this family.
Yes.
And but in a shared relationship, man, we are all mutual. Everybody is important.
Yes.
We are not saying that a man is to be head of the family. That's not what we are saying.
Yes.
Even in heaven, God the Father is still head of the Trinity.
Yes.
Are you getting the point?
Yes.
But they treat each other mutually. This is what Jesus taught us, that even though you are a master, you can still work as if you are the servant.
Yes.
And because of that, he could say to his disciples, I no longer call you servants, but now you have become my friends.
Yes.
Because he would wash their feet.
Yes.
A job that was supposed to be done by servants, but he could do it. But in a fixed, culturally strong kind of mentality, you now have this issue of, hey, we have a family member who is worshipped by everybody else, sometimes who does the least. And because I think it poses some great challenge.
I'll have to drop you right there, but because of time again. But thank you so much, Liz and Mike, for sharing on these things. And I'm hoping that our viewers have learned something and will change some things if they've been doing them wrong. But it's up to them, really. My choice, my preference is the shared roles, but maybe I'll change my mind later on. But for now, I prefer the shared ones. Thank you so much for joining us, viewers. If you've learned something or you have any questions or views, please contact Liz and Mike using the details on the screen, and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.